Hello YouTube, this is Murray Carter from Carter Cutlery. Welcome inside my house and into my kitchen. And I had a thought about sharpening stone maintenance, and I wanted to share with you some of the secret techniques that we use to maintain the stones properly. And actually this is going to be a great chance for you to get an inside scoop into some of the most valuable skills that I teach during my bladesmithing classes. But we're going to talk about proper stone maintenance. Now, many of you will have a setup, perhaps in your kitchen, or maybe in your laundry room, or maybe even outside on your deck, a setup similar to this, or maybe you've got a piece of wood spanning this gap here for which you can put your stones on. You've got a cloth to keep the stone from moving back and forth, and you can switch between your rough stone and your fine stone, and you're sharpening your knife just like this, just as I've taught you in the sharpening DVDs that I sell and in the short clips that we've got on YouTube. If you're going by the YouTube clips only, let me emphasize that you're really shortchanging your sharpening experience. You really want to get the DVDs that we offer because they're a lot more comprehensive and I explain things in greater detail. So, the problem with a setup like this, it's a good thing if you're doing this, it's good. You're 90% of the way there because you're doing. But now we have to fine-tune your skills. The problem that can come from sharpening in this kind of situation is that you can hollow out the center of your stone and end up with high corners on your stone. And the secret technique I'm going to teach you today that has to do with all of our other bladesmithing skills is how to use a good source of light. Natural light is going to be better. And to close one eye like you're sighting down a rifle and look at the surface of the stone as it reflects the light. And all of the high spots and low spots are going to be revealed in your stone. I'm going to teach you how you can keep your stone flat with regular use without having to go through the extra step of getting a glass board, putting down some kind of abrasive and doing figure eights on this glass board, or getting a special stone that they sell at some of the knife marts that are used just for flattening the stones. That's just basically a waste of time and a waste of good stone. So let's go outside and I'll show you an advanced technique for utilizing your stone in a controlled way. Okay, well, welcome out to my shop. There's a better area here for me to explain this technique. So earlier I was showing you how you can use the light to look at the surface of the stone and try to pick up the high spots. Almost always it's going to be on the corners. Perhaps these two corners are going to be the highest, especially if you're doing a lot of sharpening like this. Now, based on the assumption, which is the ever important assumption, that when you're sharpening a blade, only one part of the stone is ever in contact with one part of the blade at any given time, which is contrary to the idea that in order to sharpen a flat blade like a plane blade or a chisel, you need an absolutely flat stone. It's not true because you just pinpoint each part of the blade with each part of the sharpening stone. So based on that assumption, all we have to do is, are you ready for this? This is really high tech, guys. You look at the high spots and then you reposition your body so that you can use the high spots. You see, if this corner is high, I can just come here and I can sharpen my knife using that corner. If this was high, if this corner here was high, I could just focus my sharpening efforts on wherever part of the stone is high, you see? So you're not limited, because the stone is rectangular, you're not limited to only using the stone in this manner. You can position your body anyway, you can position your stone anyway, so that you can use the high spots. That way, as you're grinding metal off of your blade, you're also wearing your stone down in a controlled rate. You'll never have to prematurely wear your stone down by having to rub it against another stone, or on a glass plate, or on a grinder, or what have you. Now, if your stone is really out of whack, I mean, if it's really scooped out like the arch in one of those old aqueducts, if it's that bad, take it outside, as I've mentioned before in my videos. find yourself a piece of sidewalk, get yourself a bucket of water so you can clean up after yourself, and just rub your stone back and forth on the sidewalk. Now, the way you'll know how to apply more pressure on one side or the other is you're going to look in the light, see the high spots, and put a little bit more pressure on the high spots to wear those down a little bit more quickly. The technique is all in the eyes and in the understanding that you can wear down your high spots if that's where you're focusing your effort on. So, that is a very comprehensive technique for using your stones in a way that you're going to get the maximum life out of the stone and have a lot of pleasure and understanding that you've really mastered stone maintenance as well. Okay, this is Murray Carter from Carter Cutlery, www.cartercutlery.com, and happy sharpening.